The Profoto D2 Air 500 is a powerful 500 watts per second monolight with a built-in power source. Features include a flash duration of 1/63,000th of a second, high-speed sync enabling camera shutter speeds of up to 1/8,000th of a second, a freeze mode for up to 20 flashes per second, TTL mode for ease of setup, and using the Air TTL Remote for ultimate manual control, operation can be as automatic or manual as you need. The D2 Air is complemented by a range of light shaping tools which offer unprecedented creative control to studio lighting. Each D2 head is set up and ready to use. You shouldn't have to change any of the settings to begin with. However, these are fully customizable for advanced use. Here we can see the interface, and to turn on, simply press the on button. Here we can see the display, which is indicating the power output or energy settings. Press and hold the central dial to increase or decrease the energy settings from minimum output 1 to maximum output 10. These settings are also subdivided in 1/10 of a stop sections, and simply turn the dial without pressing in to fine tune your flash output. The modelling lamp can be turned on and off by simply pressing the model button. The flash can be tested by pressing the test button. You can fine-tune the settings by pressing the settings button. So to adjust the modelling lamp, you press and hold the dial, and then you can rotate clockwise or anti-clockwise, and the options that we have are free, which means that the output of the modelling lamp you can manage by simply adjusting that output. Proportional, which means that the modelling lamp is proportional to the output of the flash. And maximum, which is maximum output for the modelling lamp. If we scroll to the ready indicator, again press and hold and turn, and you have options here from beep to dim, which means the modelling lamp will dim when the flash occurs, beep and dim, and off. The sync option enables you to use the Air TTL Remote, which we will come to later. The slave function, which basically means that the flash will respond to another flash within the vicinity, and off, which means that you will need to use a sync lead to attach the light to the camera. We recommend using the Air sync setting. Each head can be set into a group. There are a number of groups which we can set them in. Be mindful that when using the Air Remote, you can only use 3 groups, A, B or C. Also, the heads can be set into a number of channels. This means that we can separate our heads and turn them on and off independently of the studio you're working in, and on and off, so that you can be creative with how you manage your light setup. And finally, the mode. There are 2 modes that can be managed on each head. Normal, which means normal flash duration, and freeze. You would use this for when you want to use high-speed flash, or burst mode using the Air Remote. Each of the D2 lights can be used in each of the two studios. However, it's important that you select the correct channel on both the light head and also on the remote. This can be selected here, and you need to remember that channel 1 is for Studio 1 and channel 2 is for Studio 2. Failure to do so will mean that you may trigger the flash in the other studio, or your flash heads will not fire when required. Each of the studio cameras has attached to it the Profoto Air TTL Remote. This is a very versatile piece of equipment which enables you to change the energy output of individual light heads and much more. Simply press the on button to turn on, and you have an LED display that enables us to go through the settings. So there are various different options on the remote, and this includes the mode where you can switch between TTL, which is through the lens, which I'll come onto with more detail later, and manual. You then have the shutter sync option, so that's first curtain, second curtain, and high speed. Again, I'll come into more detail with that later on. The channel, we recommend working on channel 1 for Studio 1 and channel 2 for Studio 2, but you can select up to 8 different channels. We have the test button, so if you're taking a meter reading. And here we have options for groupings. So you can select between groups A, B, or C, and you can have as many heads as you need in each group. So it could be 1 head, 2 heads, or 3 heads, or more in each group. And within each group, you can control the energy output. So if I select group A here, I can then increase or decrease the energy output using flash compensation to plus or minus 10 stops. You also have an opportunity to switch on and switch off the modelling lamp. And finally, with the head selected, I can turn the head off or on. So this makes it really versatile for you to set up and control your lights from the Air Remote. You can switch between TTL and manual mode, and in TTL mode, this is through the lens metering. This enables you to set your lights for an output to give optimum exposure. So this is a really great opportunity for just testing and starting. Selecting TTL mode means that you can simply take a shot, and the lights will automatically give an optimum exposure or light output. It's possible to switch between the lights or groups of lights and decrease or increase the energy levels up to plus and minus 2 stops. This will then change the ratio between the lights. So if we take a shot, we can see that the ratio there is now 2 stops. It doesn't change the optimum exposure. Switching to manual mode offers much more flexibility. You can select individual heads or groups of lights, and you can increase the energy output for each head or group in 10th stop increments, or pressing and holding, you can increase it in full stop increments to a maximum and minimum of plus minus 9.9. The Profoto D2 is complemented by a range of modifiers, such as this zoom reflector, and it's a very simple system to fitting the modifier to the head. Here we can see there's a rubber gasket, and simply it pushes and slides on, and you clip it in. Be mindful that if the modelling light is being used, that these can sometimes get hot, so allow to cool before removing. Each D2 head has a scale on the side of the light, and this means that when used with the zoom reflector, you can select a setting for your beam angle, which will narrow or spread the beam of the light, and you can slide and adjust accordingly.